All right, welcome to the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour, the Whine No Whine Show. I am the host, Joe Orsak. We are going live right now, and this is the point of the show where everybody remembers to turn their volume off on their phone, because every week this happens. I forget to tell everybody every week, so it's my fault. And right now we're looking on the page to see where it is so we can share it, so bear with us as we do that. There it is. I can share it. Bam, share. Going out to all the world.
We need to have assistants to do this for us.
I know, right?
I think so.
Going live. Oh, it said love.
That's not it.
Going love. So,
He did that heart thing. How do you do that heart thing?
refresh your page, like pull down. There you go. Or that too works. And then just scroll down until you see it live. You see, there we are.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So, guys, this show has a very big goal. Just to fix America. You see, I believe America has lost the ability to disagree civilly. Anybody who was around for the last election can tell you that, right? And a long time ago, as a young parent, I remember reading something along the lines of, when you argue, don't go to your bedroom and hide where the kids can't see you and argue because they still hear you anyway. Argue in front of your children civilly, like mature adults, and work through your disagreements so that they can see how mature adults disagree. Like, that's a lesson America needs right now, because right now America is the spoiled little kid throwing a tantrum, rolling around on the floor in the store, and they need to be picked up and have their bottom spanked and stuck in the corner. So, the goal of the show is to have all kind of differing views on all the important stuff. We talk about everything that everybody says you're never supposed to talk about. We talk about religion, we talk about politics, we talk about drugs, you name it, we talk about everything. And we do it over a great glass of wine, having a good time as friends. All right? That's the point of the show. Without further ado, I'm going to bust out today's wine, which is a Chardonnay called For a Song from Zilla, Washington. I've never been to Zilla, Washington, but we're going to drink some great Zilla, Washington wine. This stuff is supposed to be really, really delicious, and it has an aroma of white peach. How do you like that? I got my notes this time. Aromas of white peach. It has textures and flavors of honey, marmalade, and apple pie. So,
Okay, I was hoping that apple would come
pie.
there somewhere in that.
Right? So, I'm going to start pouring this, and we have to, taste for the honey and marmalade and apple pie.
It almost sounds scary.
Right? So, we'll see how it goes. And as I'm pouring, you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Kristi, if y'all want to throw in shameless plugs, feel free to throw in shameless plugs.
He knows
We're all
me
about the
so
shameless
well.
plugs.
So, hi guys, what's up? You might have seen me on the show a couple weeks ago, or maybe not, because that episode got deleted somehow. My name is Kristi Estrada, and I work for Joe, so I was forced. And I
Wow.
host Digitally Speaking 2.0, so I have my own talk show. Don't be afraid to go like
Wow.
Very
Alright.
cool.
Yes.
That's it?
She gives
Yeah,
some
that's
killer information on that show, by the way.
Digitally speaking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very cool. So I'm Stephanie D. McKenzie, and I was actually on the inaugural episode.
Yes.
And so, much to my chagrin, totally kidding, much to my excitement, I am back with Joe, and I'm sitting closer to him. So excited about that.
She's a little nervous. She's a little
What?
nervous.
Never.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get to be the communications director for the relationship firm, and you can find us at therelationshipfirm.com. Shameless plug.
There we go.
Hey everybody, I am Cindy G. Well, my friends call me Cindy G. I'm Cindy Goodson officially. And I do business with Joe. We do wine stuff. And
We do wine
we
stuff.
We do wine. We don't wine, we do wine.
That sounds sassy, doesn't it?
It
Just
is.
do wine
It
stuff.
does.
It is.
Wow.
Shameless plug is
Wine with
Hashtag.
attitude.
the Cindy G Project is healthy, sassy,
Oh.
healthy,
Oh, look at that.
savvy, and wise.
I just segued you right into that one.
Just segued right on into
I can't even say that fast. Say that again.
healthy, savvy, and wise.
Healthy, savvy, and wise. I got it.
Yeah.
Healthy, savvy, and
So
wise.
that's it just speaks to all
Very
of
nice.
the things that I love to do that I'm passionate about. Education. I
Awesome.
love education, and I love to help people change their lives, to design a life they desire to live, and live in the body they love to love.
And despite her appearances, she is not 19. She is legal to drink. I'm just gonna say.
Well, you know black don't crack.
Okay, come on, somebody.
Right?
But it will
That's right on.
stand.
It'll stretch.
It'll stretch just a little bit. Sorry.
I haven't heard that one. That's good. That's good.
That's a Stephanieism.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right, well, I'm Steve Williams, and I've done every episode because this is basically the only day of the week that I'm allowed outside the house. So, to Esther, who's probably watching,
Almost
my
spewed
wife,
on that one, Steve.
yeah,
Way to go.
she's going, oh my gosh, I
Baptismal.
can't believe he's saying that. So,
Goodness.
anyway, I look forward to having a great conversation over wine, and we'll definitely hit some good points, and it'll make an impact either way you look at it. So, that's what I do.
Very good. Very good. We've got a great cast of crew here. Cheers to another great show. Salute.
Cheers.
There we go. All right.
Passing down the road, yeah.
Excellent.
I can't reach way over there, Steve.
Yeah,
Just-
well,
just some
virtual.
love. Right.
Virtual tap.
Just bumping.
Yes.
Virtual clink.
All right,
Yes.
I want to mention, guys that are watching the show. I'm manning the cam here, watching the live feed. This is a live interactive show. That's kind of the point. You can hop in, make comments. Stephanie last week was just blowing up the feed with some great comments.
You were.
Yes,
We
great
saw
comments.
I try
So
to be useful, people.
yeah. So feel free to hop in and make comments. If there's something on your mind that you want the cast to talk about today, pop it in there. If it looks good, we might jump on it. So there you go. Without further ado, due to traffic reasons, not everybody was able to get here like early, and we're just jumping in more or less straight up live because that's Houston traffic. It's a reality, right?
It looks more like a Rita evacuation out there. I thought I was like, is there a hurricane coming and I'm not aware?
That was so much fun.
My,
Oh, it was
my
great
GPS
fun.
lied to me
was
12
for
times. It kept telling me you're
It was a
17
party.
minutes away, you're 20 minutes away, you're
It went up.
24 minutes. It's going up. Like, what's really going on?
See,
But
GPS
that's
is a liar.
Houston, though.
It's a total
Houston.
liar.
Mhm.
That's Houston.
our 2 seasons,
That's Houston.
summer and traffic.
Summer and traffic. Yes. So I know, Steve, you had something on your mind. If anybody else has something on their mind, feel free to jump in.
I'm
Well, it
still trying to
seems-
share the show.
Still trying.
Bear with me. people.
Kristi
All
can
right.
help you.
Oh,
She's
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, you have a technology gal right over there.
yeah.
Guy?
Guy.
Gal.
Gal.
Oh.
Is
Gal.
it because I have short hair? Because that's what
I
it
said
says.
gal.
No, I'm just kidding.
They're so mean to me.
Short hair.
Don't
women.
judge
That would
me.
be
Short
sexist.
hair.
That would be
Somewhere.
sexist.
Somewhere.
That's why.
I said something like that, and my wife turned it around on me, and it's like, "Oh, you said this," and I said, "Are you judging my words?"
Oh.
I'm like, "Don't judge
Okay.
my
Don't
words."
judge my words.
Anyway,
She cracked up laughing on that one.
anyway.
I'm like, "All right." So anyway,
Everybody seems to be all up in arms about what happened in Manchester, England, which was a horrible thing to happen. It's not surprising, in my opinion, that it happened because however way you look at it, that country has accepted the influx of that culture into their society, and therefore it's kind of ripe for the picking. No matter how you cut it, it's going to happen. And we see it over here with San Bernardino for sure, and our attack in Orlando. When you get right down to it, from my position, we have to react to these things. There's no real way to be a freedom, liberty-based society and have to go and profile. Everybody gets all their bowels in an uproar about profiling. We can't really be proactive about this. We can surveil, we can watch things going on, watch trends, we know where the problems are, and for all intents and purposes, we have to be reactive. These radical Islamic elements, they go for the targets that have the softest potential of not having too many people that are going to resist. And, I think we're extremely blessed to be in a state in this union which you just don't know who can respond right, Johnny, on the spot. You will never know. And so that's why we don't really see that. Of course, we had Fort Hood, but that was a very exceptional exception to the rule. And we basically had to react to that as well. And people are losing their lives. So how do we be proactive about this problem? Because it is killing people that have nothing to do with anything. They're just victims. We'll walk outside of this room and we could be a victim. That's that easy. So, no matter how you feel about it, proactive, reactive, it's a problem, and it's worldwide, and, you know, seems to me like a lot of important people that should be looking for ways to address this. All they're doing is talking about it, in my opinion. So, we've had 8 years of fighting it conventionally. We had 8 years of excusing it, appeasing it, looking the other way. And now we have another 4 years of somebody who's in charge of how we're going to react to it this way. And I'd really honestly like to see a clear direction from that person to address this issue. That's the way I look at it. So we've had it both ways. We've attacked it, and then we have kind of gotten away from being aggressive against it. So now we got a whole new bag of tricks that's coming up, and I think that that's a fair question to ask somebody who's in charge. So however you feel about the guy, he needs to be asked the question, what are we going to do about this? Are we going to have 8 years of getting after it, or are we going to have 8 years of not doing anything about
Well, I
it?
hope we don't have 8 years of him, period. But nevertheless, I don't
Start
know-
there.
Yeah, let's start there.
Right.
This is not new, though.
It's
Many
not.
people have been the casualty of political uprising or the actions of systems of beliefs for a long time. I mean, look at the Crusades, look at the Roman Empire. And so this is not a new concept. I think the issue is that we just expect more because we live in such a technological age. But unless we want to police the minds of individuals, I don't know how we'll ever be able to stop that, because these things are very well orchestrated. They're orchestrated sometimes years in advance. Look at 9/11. You know, the dry run of 9/11 was in 1993. And they figured out, oh yeah, we can't bring it down from the bottom. However, you know, somebody put out the report that if you fill up a plane and if you hit above this floor, then you can bring the towers down. Well, thank you so much. That's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
But how would we have policed that? How would we have remotely thought in the confines of our arrogant American minds that there were forces that were ready to attack innocent lives?
Right.
So, real quick to chime in, Angel, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate you being on the show. Angel's watching. Ed Camp.
Hi, Angel.
Ed Camp says, Joe, put down your phone and pretend to listen. I'm watching the feed, Ed. There's always one in the crowd. Eric Ashworth said, thank God for Texas Greg Abbott and gun laws. So, Shelley Williamson said, amen, Eric. Carmelo,
Hey,
interesting
Carmelo.
point here. Carmelo has been on the show. Carmelo is also in the wine club with us, so
Right,
we do the
You
wine
do
things
wine
together.
things.
That's
Wine
right.
things.
Carmelo had a good point, and this is kind of touching on your question here, and this is definitely worth discussing. Carmelo said the more proactive, in quotes, we become, the more rights we give up. Think about the Patriot Act, some of the surveillance laws. The more, who said it? Was it Jefferson? The more we trade security, the more we trade freedom the more we trade security for freedom. I forgot what it is. Less free we become.
I think it was Ben Franklin that said that.
Ben Franklin. In other words, the more we rely on the state for our security, the less free we become. Because the same security methods that can be applied to protect us from the bad guy, so to speak, is the same methodology that they can use to apply force and restrictions and everything else on us. So I've said this many times on the show before, I definitely have a libertarian streak where I don't like government, I don't trust government. I think the government is the source of many of our ills, if not most. And so consequently, I'm very, very skeptical to go down the road of empowering government when it comes to surveillance and that sort of thing. I'm skeptical, right? I like to think it's a healthy skepticism. It's not that I'm opposed, I'm just very skeptical. So I'm reluctant to give powers to tap lines, to monitor phone calls and all these type of things. because from a technology standpoint, we've already seen IRS targeting certain groups. We've already seen there's documentation of this already on the books. So I don't trust government with certain power. And the more power we give, the more opportunity there is for, oppressing people.
In layman's terms, that could be more along the lines of, we have given government authorities wiggle room to get around the due process of violating our personal privacy, things of that nature. If they get a whiff on you about something, they're going to take a look at you and you will never know it. It's like when you're talking on the phone, you hear the little click, you go, I guess they're listening.
Every time our satellite TV ever, does anything at all, I'm like, freaking government's monitoring us. Kim just cracks up laughing, but that's like my go-to, comment. Carmelo made another great point. He said, we should get tough on the leaders of the countries from which the terrorists come. Why are we so forgiving of the Saudis? Because they have lots of money, Carmelo. And lots of oil.
Big refrigerators.
There you go.
In.
Yes.
To that end, it kind of feels like Minority Report. Remember
Yes.
that movie back in the day?
Yeah, that was a great show.
Before he lost his mind. They were
started jumping on
jumping on couches, shout out to Tom, he's gonna redo Top Gun.
Is he really?
Yeah, there's gonna be a sequel. Not
Holy
real
cow.
sure how that's going to.
I haven't seen
he
that.
needs a check, baby. Just let him get
Yeah.
Everybody need work.
Let him get his money.
He's working.
But it feels like Minority Report. I mean, that would be the extent of how we would have to police this thing with the precogs and the people that can read people's minds, and that's not what.
I'm just so
that
glad
doesn't
that
even
was
work.
science fiction when you really get right down to it.
Was it?
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm saying is that
Was it?
it would be nice to maybe have that, but there's no control over it. You and I and everyone else are not going to see the workings of that if there ever was a concept like that. But looking at it practically, it's like we lost a lot of what we call human intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
We used to pay. Our government used to pay nationals foreign nationals in countries that could give us information instead of putting someone like me to try to blend in. I don't blend into a situation where we're observing and we're conversing and we're gaining intel. We won't hear about anything like that because the money has been cut tremendously from intelligence agencies that go out there and are the front end, pointy end of the sword in that capacity. So, maybe with this administration, there'll be some money start putting into this, and we'll start getting more information to where there's just might be that chance that we can stop it, or we can ring the bell loud enough to where somebody's going to get in there and we can pinch it before it develops. So that's the way I feel that you can do an awful lot without, sending an aircraft carrier in an area and sending up planes to go bomb something. That in and of itself is effective, and it's also fun to watch. So
Leah Mills came to my rescue here. Leah, thank you so much for providing the quote. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin.
thank you.
And so, I think.
Leah's my buddy, I just want to say.
Oh, is he? Oh, is she? That's so awesome.
Look at this transgender thing you're doing today.
I was about to say he and Benjamin Franklin, so it fried a circuit there for a second. Thank you, Leah, for providing that quote. I think Ben is a great example of the healthy skepticism of our founding fathers when it comes to government. Their idea was limited government. Right? Their idea was to say federal government has a very small role, and if it's not spelled out in this document, then it defers to state power. And the basic premise or the philosophy that they were operating under is let's keep power as close to the people as possible, because the people then hold their representatives in check. When they go off long way to Washington and get close to the political action committees and the money and all this sort of thing, the lobbyists, etc., they're a long way from the constituent, and it's very easy to forget the constituent in that scenario.
Yep.
And that's why they wanted a small federal government and the powers being in the hands of the state, so that the people were right there to hold their representatives in check. I believe philosophically the problem is best solved the closest to the problem. The further we get from the problem, the more the people that are in between, the more cost, the slower the solution, all that stuff. So, and that's really reflected in a lot of their writings if you read the history of the country and their thoughts and that sort of thing. So I'm very skeptical of government. And yet, do we have a problem to deal with? Right? You said it's been around, right, forever. I agree. However, to me, it's inarguable that since the 70s, we've had a massive increase in the amount of terroristic activity, especially against America, starting with embassies overseas and that sort of thing, and then really accelerating in the 90s. The attack on the USS Cole that killed 17 servicemen.
But what about local terrorism as well, our domestic terrorism?
There's plenty of that.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and
you know,
there's certainly, that's like when it was Oklahoma City. It was 90s, or was it 80s?
It was the 90s.
90s, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, Timothy McVeigh.
Absolutely.
And it was before that too, with the Black Wall Street.
I mean, you know, we can go back to the history of the company.
We can go forever.
We
Yeah.
can go forever.
We can go forever, and in the past and in the future.
Absolutely.
You know.
But there's been an increased connection between certain ideologies, and then they use this terrorist kind of methodology to make their exclamation point. And now whether or not those people survive those attacks, their statement has been made with that action. So, like I said, it's pardon me. It's hard to be proactive in that. It really is, and I empathize with our law enforcement, our intelligence agencies, and the task of balancing their job is to find out about this, get in bed with it, and roll around in it, and see if we can stop it, and respecting the constitutional rights of our privacy. There is a fine line, and it's just, I find it, man, we've just been flailing, you know, trying to swim, and all we're doing is we're making splashes, and it's not been something that, you know, there have been some successes, but it sure as heck does not register on a lot of people's radar.
Why do you think that is?
Media loves chaos. The media loves to justify their existence to perpetuate that kind of stuff, where they leave out certain facts. It's like, and it's exasperated by this 24/7, 365 news cycle, where if something happens, boy, they just boom,
It's
boom,
breaking
boom.
news.
It's
Everything's
always
breaking
news.
news.
It's the same thing every hour of the day until something else happens, and then they jump off on that.
I'll give
So
you
we're
a
just totally
real quick
inundated with that
example that's very relevant to the conversation that we started off with. The New York Times. The New York Times, which was historically a very respected, you know, entity, publishing pictures of the bomb that was used to at the Ariana Grande concert. They had no valid reason for doing so other than to be that first source of, oh, we got the bomb, to create that contention and draw eyeballs so that they sell more magazines. It was so totally irresponsible, in my opinion, from a security standpoint, from allowing, like you said, they publish reports of, you know, how to take down the towers, right? That information doesn't need to be out there. There's no journalist that ever needs to put that kind of information out there. There's no reasons that they need to be posting pictures of the bomb that was used to kill 20 innocent people. So to me, that is journalistically absolutely irresponsible. But that's where our media is at right now. I saw a great clip. I shared it when Denzel Washington, they grabbed him on the red carpet. And they're like, oh, you know, the rumors out there you're going to be president or whatever. And he shut it down. He turned it around on him. He's like, oh, what are they saying now? You know, he's like, look, you guys, our information now is so available and so readily available that there's a rush now to be the first. Truth be damned, right? That part doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, we'll get it out there so that we're first.
It's first. It's about being first.
It's about being first. So, New York Times, who used to be a very respected to me, I say used to be, forgive me for that, you know, it's my opinion. But,
And it's your show.
yeah, and it's my show.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. So, used to be a very respected medium, is now just getting out there to compete with all the other, internet blogs and everything else that, hey, I'm going to be the first to throw this out there so that I can draw these eyeballs because that's what gets me paid. I'm going to get more advertisers, and there are advertisers that just won't care that, hey, I don't care how you got the eyeballs.
They don't care how you get it.
You've got the eyeballs, and therefore I'm going to spend my money with you. So, that's the era we live in.
I want to go, can I explain
Yeah,
that? I'm going to go
absolutely.
back to the question just a couple of seconds ago as to comparing, the 70s and the evolution of terrorism over the most recent years.
Yes.
And how do we link that to technology? Like why has it evolved in such a way that we can't control it? We can only be reactive versus proactive. What does it take?
That's a great point. I have a big beef. Every time there's a mass shooting in America, it's 24/7 nonstop coverage. I'm interviewing the families. I'm showing clips of people running from the place. It's nonstop, right? And it just increases. It just increases, right? I think as a society we do ourselves a tremendous disservice when we put that kind of stuff out there, because I believe that what we focus on expands, and so you have people out there who have that kind of hatred in their heart and whatever else. They see that type of thing and they're inspired by it to take further action, right? In my opinion, anytime there's a mass shooting that goes on, the news should only cover local, and it should only cover from a safety standpoint of, is there any danger to the public? Is the person still at large? That kind of thing. Other than that, it has no business being on the news at all.
We did see what I call the perfect situation, however tragic it was, in San Bernardino. The attackers had gotten away from the original scene where they had killed a bunch of people, and they were out and about in the community running around, and it did not take very long, but it took long enough for people to realize, hey, this situation is not under control. The media covered it, in my opinion, what I saw, I think that was the best job I've seen them do in a situation like that, where it's not just some person going there and Allahu Akbar hits the pickle and he blows up and kills 22 people. This was a situation where they went in there, started shooting up people, and they left. They were able to get away, and they beat the response of law enforcement, the immediacy of their response, and they were out in the community looking. So they started going outwards from that scene, that ground zero, and eventually they got them. And it was a horrendous response. I mean, it was a running, gun battle, and they always say in the community of people that choose to defend themselves for lawful self-defensive purposes in the state, that every bullet coming out of your gun has a lawyer on it. So if you're not prepared to accept the responsibility and then thus be accountable for your response as a law-abiding citizen against something like this, or a robbery at a convenience store, or any situation where this is in the law, where you can reasonably determine that force or deadly force is necessary to stop. It doesn't say kill, doesn't say murder, it says to stop the illegal act from continuing. Then that's a responsibility to those of us who understand the law and become students of the law and get good enough to where you feel confident in carrying a firearm, but you'll never know who's out there. And that's I think that's the beauty. It causes pause in a lot of people in this state to do these acts, but they're always looking for that soft target. They're always looking for an opportunity that says, you know what, I don't think anybody in there is going to stop me, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and rob that place, or do whatever heinous act that they choose to do. So it's a societal problem, and it transcends a lot of facets that how we address it, and the media is there to document everything.
Okay, but before you do that, I want to go back to what Cindy said, right? Cindy?
Yep.
Yeah, you got it right. But, I think it's not only, the 70s, the evolution, as you put it. I don't think it's just technology. Although the fact that you can Google how to make, et cetera, and get the recipe for, Molotov cocktail, whatever you want to do.
Right.
But I think also is that we have an influx of people who can't cope. They have no coping
No coping
mechanisms,
skills.
no coping skills, and we are taking away the ability for them to get the help that they need, because if you cannot cope with your anger, all it does is mount up and mount up. Then you see the news coverage. I can do that. I got a gun. You know that. I mean, because
I'm angry too.
I'm angry. You know, remember going postal was a thing. It's not just about Allahu Akbar. It's about people that are sitting here right now, people that are driving up and down 59 that are angry. How many road rage murders have we seen?
Exactly.
You know, how many people have come into their places of work and they're just like, I got fired, I'm going to take everybody out.
Exactly.
And that's the unfortunate of the world that we live in, is that people can't cope. They
So
just
we need to
flat
get
out
to the,
can't
so we're not getting to the, so reacting to a terrorist act is not getting to the root of the issue. We know that. You know,
Bingo.
there's, because you can't get into the mind of, unless you get into the mind of the man or the woman.
Exactly.
To deal with those issues
Exactly.
and get the, you know, that is where it needs to start.
But see, we haven't even done that domestically, because
No.
if you go back
Exactly.
to Columbine, how many times did you see, y'all seen, right? Columbine,
Wow.
where the guy was
Columbine
writing,
probably happened when she was born.
right?
Yes.
Really,
But
literally.
But you're familiar.
Were
I
you here
was in-
yet?
But
I
you're
was in
familiar.
I've heard of Columbine. I was
See?
in kindergarten when 9/11 happened.
Sheesh. I was in my living room going, what
I'm
is
not
this?
even 21 yet, so.
What is
That's
so
why you're
awesome.
white and sitting there collecting bubbles.
Right.
Okay.
I could be, I could
We
be
won't
her
allow her
mom.
to drink it. We just poured it for
I've had-
image
right.
sake.
No
I've
kidding.
had-
It's in
I've had two
solidarity.
sips. The last time I was on the show, I gave the wine 0
Give me that
grade.
glass, girl.
Here, you
Okay,
can
so-
have it.
We're here for you.
I have to get this
Pour
out
for us.
because we've had a lot of great comments.
Okay, get him out, get him out.
Ken, I want some clarification. You said the MLM. I don't know. I'm pretty
Multi-level
sure.
marketing?
I'm pretty sure that doesn't stand for multi-level marketing.
Is the S key next to the L key?
Mainstream media.
Yeah.
Mainstream
Yeah,
media,
yeah.
MSM.
Go, Bobby,
Okay,
go.
mainstream media, very good. That's probably it, because it certainly looked like that.
Rock.
Mainstream media has been the PR arm for the military-industrial complex and centralized international banking cartel for the last 60 years. Woo, that's got a lot of meat in
Oh,
there.
I'd like to throw the opposite on
bottom
that. I
of the
think
ocean.
it's
I
totally
need to swim.
180 degrees out from that.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we can address that. Teresa then chimed in. Teresa Sanford chimed in, and she said media is the culprit to much chaos. Too many uneducated folks who believe what is fed to them. They don't know how to do research and find answers. So in turn, they don't know how to think for themselves. Jonathan offered up a slice of pizza.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Is it coming now?
Right.
I know, right? Like,
Okay.
get the
I'm
address
starving.
right.
Okay, right.
Shannon said the media attention stokes the fire and causes
Absolutely.
anger among citizens, and the crazy ones are the ones that use it to create havoc on innocent people. Let's see, every bullet coming out of your gun has a lawyer on it. Great point. There you go. It is all about hate versus evil. Either they have godly love or worldly love, and there's a huge difference. That's another big conversation, all right?
That's huge, because
Um,
godly love is so subjective, because you have people that kill in the
In the
name of
their God.
in the name of their God.
Yes.
You know,
Uh,
Saul.
absolutely.
All day long.
We could do Saul, Paul. We could do it. We
We
could
could
do
do-
that.
we
We
could
could go
do-
all the way back. We
yeah.
could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that this is the world we live in. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. I interrupted.
No, that's that. I was
Take it in.
that was
Blame it on the wine.
yep, blame it on the one.
the
So,
wine.
Truth serum.
That's what
The
it is.
truth serum,
That's what we call
absolutely.
I mean, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when, you know, when you go back, and of course every 10 years, whenever there's a Columbine anniversary or Virginia Tech anniversary or the shooting at UT, I'm a Longhorn, so when I got to the University of Texas, we could not go into the observation deck because of Walt Whitman. It had been shut down because he went up there and started sniping everybody.
Yeah.
And he had a scope, and he could literally snipe from, you know, so many yards away. It wasn't until almost I was graduating that they reopened the observation deck.
Yeah.
But how many times have we seen the journal entries? Oh, I just hate everybody. Oh, I just wish I could kill them.
Right.
You know, we get all that
Right,
after
we
the
get it.
fact.
Yeah.
But my thing is, even with the Sandy Hooks individual, the killer for Sandy Hooks Elementary, we saw that he had a history of mental illness. We're not dealing with mental illness. Rational, sane people do not pick up a weapon and go out and do a mass killing. Period.
Or
Joe-
terrorist act.
Joe
Or
Rogan,
terrorist act.
Joe Rogan, who I'm a fan of, he's pretty blunt sometimes, so you have to watch language-wise. But he had a great and very succinct point. He said, America does not have a gun problem. America has a prescription drug problem disguised as a gun problem.
I'm just trying to tell you.
So,
That's powerful.
yeah, that's strong. And I really think that gets closer to the heart of the issue. If you look at all of the Sandy Hooks, all of the...
It's an avenue. It's an avenue.
It absolutely is a prescription drug problem. These are all people who had a
mental health
history...
problem.
Mental health, yeah, mental health.
Yeah.
Most of them were taking some form of drugs.
Absolutely.
And so that is absolutely a problem. So this goes back to, and I'll just throw this bomb out and see how y'all react to it. My thing is that...
Don't use the word bomb.
No, they're listening.
Somebody
Yes.
somewhere
No,
just
no,
recorded
no,
it.
They
Yes.
just
no,
recorded
no.
and they're on their way.
I'm sorry, don't
You
ban me,
already
Mark
know he's falling
Zuckerberg.
on the no-fly list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark is at the door. Mark Zuckerberg's at the door.
Darn it.
We just off the internet with the word.
Yes.
I just used a prop.
I'm Somalian. Wait, I'm gonna tap out. I'm Somalian. Don't take me.
I'll just throw this out there, right? I say this all the time. Why it bothers me so much that as soon as there's a Columbine, or as soon as there's any kind of Sandy Hook or anything, man, the gun people are all out there battling. We need to more stricter gun control, stricter gun control. That is the angle of conversation every time. And I'm like, since when do more laws stop criminals from committing the laws? They don't. Now,
You brought up a really good reaction from certain ideologies, and a similar reaction is from people like Kate Perry, who for some reason her celebrity status gives her a microphone.
Katy Perry?
Kate Perry, whatever, yeah.
Okay.
her too,
Anyway,
both of them.
I was like, who?
her initial reaction was
Kate and Katie,
to
both of
this
them.
All of
this
them.
Manchester attack was, you know what, we need to really get a hold of this problem, but we also need to coexist. Every single time I hear this phrase coexist,
It'd be great if we
give
could.
me a break. When has that worked? When is just going along to get along worked against somebody or some ideology that wants to kill you? They don't care to coexist. So why do you offer this up as some substantive reaction or path of how we need to deal with this problem? Coexist is not going to work. It hasn't worked.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna kick
What are we
everybody
going to
out?
do? So we can't
What do you
coexist.
suggest? What do you suggest?
Yeah, what do you
I would-
suggest?
Well,
Yes.
That is the $1 million
Are you
question.
ready? Are you
Speak.
ready?
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
we are
Drop
so
the bomb.
ready.
I want
have an
her to
opinion.
answer this. So she's been quiet all day.
Attention, everybody. Kristi has a thought.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
And it's original, kind of, a little
We're
bit.
ready.
Kinda
We're
original.
ready.
So where do we start taking action? I think it starts taking action with young people, where it should always begin, because
Younger.
younger,
Okay.
young, very young.
What are you saying?
Saying I'm not old.
Right? Her. What are you saying?
Two people
Anyway, sorry, go
my
ahead.
age and younger, so 20, 19, teenagers, the people who really fuel the media, or the people who really
dang.
focus on are young people. And to them, mainstream media, famous people posting on Twitter, on Facebook, Daily Mail, because,
Sorry.
oh, it's okay. I don't know if you know this, Snapchat has articles that they post every single day. And of course I look at them, duh. And that's where a lot of people see the news at. Yeah, you do have, it's very
So does Playboy.
So does Playboy.
So I hear.
Who is Snapchat?
What's Playboy?
Who
Wait a
is?
minute.
What is the substance of
It
Snapchat?
doesn't matter
Help
necessarily
him.
what
Help
Snapchat is, but they
Okay.
post articles that are so
Irrelevant question, Steve.
Yeah, don't try to distract me from my point.
Stay focused.
But young people buy into this mainstream media idea that you guys are so opposed to. That oh my God, how many people? How did they die? That's what young people think instantly. How did they die? What happened? I want to see. Show me. And that's why we have such a focus on those things, because that's what the millennials
So
want.
it's your
Did
fault.
you ever
Yeah.
think that,
Okay.
that your generation,
Is very
and I'm
messed up.
not that old, but then again I'm not that young anymore, and I have done and participated in some things that I hope that nobody in your generation has to deal with. So we, in my generation, have a responsibility to attempt to address. If I had the answers to your question on how to deal with the threats to this country, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now. I'd be sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania, and I would be dealing with it. And you know what? In my opinion, I really don't care what other people think. If I deal with it, I'm gonna deal with it because I don't want you to have to deal with it.
Right.
So, let's have a little faith. Let's try to address this. We may not have the solutions, but, you know, if we had generations before me deal with fascism, that's that.
You've been made up words
Fascism.
all day today.
Have I been making up words?
You
I'm
have,
sorry,
but I love you.
anyway,
Take
Take a sip,
I know,
it'll
I love
help.
Yes.
I
Take
feel
a
like
sip,
that
you'll understand it better.
generation,
Is that what happens?
that
You're
generation really dealt with distinct, tangible problems where we knew where we had to go beat it. This type of situation where we're in right now is such an asymmetrical, that's not a made-up word,
I know.
I've heard that one
asymmetrical
before.
Yeah, that's how I did my hair
war.
today.
Asymmetrical war with asymmetrical opposition. It's difficult to put your thumb down. It's difficult to say, "Tsk, I can go over there and get that," or "Tsk, I know where to deal with this problem. Tsk, I know what the solution is." There is no real one way to deal with this, and so
Very true.
what we have in place is, I feel, the best we can deal with it, and it's reactive in nature. We can't really, based upon the way of our society and our laws and the way that we value liberty and freedom over these things. I don't want to infringe on anybody's liberty and freedom. I would really go
It's
against
okay,
that.
been there, done that.
I know, and so there really is no real way to do this. I mean, we're doing the best we can. We can sure go in there and bomb the hell out of people. We can.
Sounds
So-
like that's
But
the
but
solution
that's
that you're
the same,
leaning
that's the
toward.
same thing, then
Well,
we
that-
become
that-
the
that-
terrorists.
Isn't that kind of where
But-
you're at?
Well, you have to come to some kind of a conclusion to say that that's the option, or that's, you know.
Because you
But
said
it's
what we've
not.
got,
So-
what we have in
'Cause then
place
we-
is
we
looks like
become the
it's
terrorists.
gonna work. What
Yeah.
I want to say about real quickly, I was going to respond to Shannon. Yes, Shannon, I'm trying to respond to you. Yeah, that is absolutely correct.
Hey, Shannon.
You can read her.
Hey,
You can
Shannon.
read her.
Yes.
You can read it later.
It-
I agree. So
We're
So-
all gonna go to
so
our
let me-
phones
yeah,
right
yeah,
now, 'cause
as
I'm
we
really
look at, like,
interested
what
in
did she
what-
even say?
I was going to make a
Did she
point.
say my hair was cute? What she said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
That was exactly what every
Joe was
comment
getting-
said.
I was getting tipsy.
Yeah, they're
Everybody
saying I'm
is
getting
good.
tipsy. I'm not getting tipsy. Angel said he can't see the beautiful wine rack.
Can't see the beautiful
yeah,
wine
shameless plug for Angel, my good buddy,
Oh, I
who
love
made this
that.
wine rack.
Oh, that is so
Oh, that's
gorgeous.
nice. Bring it up.
Oh my
can you see
gosh!
it?
Yeah, I mean the
Is it
wine
heavy?
will come out if I.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. No, we'll just-
We'll take a picture and post it, Angel. We
We'll
love
post
you.
it. This
Yes.
is nice.
Angel
So-
in his shirt.
I'm gonna
Love
show.
it.
I'm gonna show everybody. Yep. Here we go.
Very nice.
Beautiful. My beautiful work here.
He made that?
Yeah, he made
Wow.
that. He makes.
Angel, I need 3 of these.
He makes killer wine
Three?
racks.
Just
I
3?
want one big one. Which one?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah, he makes like big tall ones and
Oh, I
everything.
love
Yeah,
it.
Very
fantastic work, Angel. Shameless plug. I'm sharing right now. I
There's no
love
shame
his
in
I love
stuff.
to digress. We
I
need to
love it.
digress for a second. But
Yes.
and so Angel is part of our team.
Yes, he is.
And he had the art and wine team.
Yes, he did.
I missed. I was in Las Vegas. Oh, but
Yes.
Angel, we must reschedule another one. Okay, let's get on the calendar.
Absolutely. So beautiful work. Any of you guys who need a wine rack, my buddy Angel will hook you up.
All right.
All right. So here's the thing. I mean, it's the $1 million question. I do not envy leadership in the country, the job that they have by any means, because at the end of the day, if you look around the world, France, Great Britain, Germany, they are all dealing with the problem. There are literally in France and Great Britain both. There are literally areas that are no-go zones for the police. The police absolutely will not enter the areas because a certain segment of the population who hold a certain belief and ideology have taken over the area, and they will absolutely by force run the police out.
Kind of like Pizza Hut in Fifth Ward, huh?
That was
Pizza Hut.
hilarious.
That sounds so good. Pizza Hut.
Wow.
We're just hungry.
I thought pizza was a
Right.
Anyway,
What's up? Yeah.
somebody
We need
order-
So
pizza.
there are places
Where's that
they
pizza
just
at?
like,
Hey,
no.
we need our fans. Can y'all order us some pizza? Like,
Right?
Something like
Like a vegan, no
Pizza. Wow.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. So yeah, go ahead.
So what I was going to say is that if we just have a open door, bring everybody in policy, we have examples of that already in place in the world and how it's worked out. I mean, like it or
So
not,
what's the problem?
like it or not, that is a harsh reality. So we can't just ignore that. right?
That's
And
an
so,
example of coexist right there, and we see in the conflicts
right.
with that ideology or that
Now,
concept.
is that all of Islam? Is that all Muslims? Of course
No.
not.
No.
It's not just all of Islam or Muslims anyway. I keep saying we have a domestic problem.
Thank
that
you.
we
Let's
have
go
Sure.
back
to
there.
fix.
We're talking about two different things. Are we going to talk about the country? Because if that's the case, then we need to deal with the West and how the West has always operated. If we're talking about why, let's get into the. My question is, why are the terrorists angry? What is their
Yeah.
problem? Okay, when you address that, then you can talk about what the West needs. What
Somebody's
the
going to
country-
always be angry though.
That's
Somebody
true.
wants to
Somebody's
kill us
gonna always
right
be angry.
now. We're America.
But
But
what
what
is
is the West?
but what-
What is the West by definition? I mean, if you look
America?
at America, our concept of personal liberties and freedoms, I say that again, is diametrically opposed to the radical side of the Islamic belief.
Okay.
It does not mesh. So when you have
Philosophically, there's
groups,
definitely no coexistence in
yeah, when you
that.
have
Okay.
groups that influx into these European countries, and they somewhat believe they have a basis for that freedom and liberty, albeit in different levels, they have been attacked. There have
Okay.
been conflicts. When you can't get civil society to exist with a ideology that does not believe in freedom and liberty, then that's where you're going to see a lot of these things that happen in Manchester and London and
Okay.
Paris and was it Marseille where the guy took the truck and just plowed
Yeah.
over all those people?
But is there not
Okay.
radical Christianity? Before you answer that, because I see the look on your
Yeah.
face,
I'm interested.
there's a little group. They like to wear hoods. They're white and red. That would be radical Christianity, right? They
Yes.
have terrorized people for generations. They terrorize people
That's
now.
where I was going when I
Ku
said,
Klux Klan.
Yeah.
Again, if we can't handle our domestic
Domestically,
issues,
why are
we
we
can
even
forget
concerned
about the
about?
international of it all. So
Yeah.
we're gonna kick all the Klansmen out? I know where they are. We can go find them. I'm not going.
That is a
Y'all
group
go
that
in.
it is starting to, from what I've seen, the
They
Ku
boast
Klux
about a
Klan-
membership of about 8,000 people right now.
That's
Yeah, but
8,000
that's
too many.
Oh, no,
pretty
I
that's
agree.
pretty liberal. That's
I
a
agree.
good number. I think
I
that's an
know.
inflated
That's
number. I
fine.
think
That's fine.
your radical side of that is in the dozens, to be truthful. And
but
yes,
that's
they
fine,
are
but it's
Doesn't
like-
matter, they not
Yes.
coming
Hang
for
on.
you, Steve.
I know that.
One is too many.
Put some skin in the game.
One is too many.
Put some melanin in
I'm
the game.
trying to say.
Put some melanin in the game.
You need to get the skin in
What
the
I'm
game.
trying to say
Okay.
is-
I know.
I don't even if I'm being generous with 8,000, fine.
Okay.
My point is that if we deal with problems, right? If I look at I got problems to handle,
Yeah.
and I am dealing with by many different experts' opinion in many different studies
That you have many problems?
in many different locations of the world, a 6 to 13% ratio of radicalized Islam.
Okay.
Islam represents 1.6, 1.7 billion people on the planet.
Okay.
6 to 13% radicalized. We're talking hundreds of millions. Even if that's double the number of KK people. KKK people. I shorted them a K.
Give them their K now.
Right?
Now they
Okay.
sound like hood people. KK.
Right? KK.
KK.
Good
Hey,
people.
KK.
Even if there were
That's good.
16,000.
I have a good friend named KK.
They are so distracting.
KK.
Yes.
How you doing?
That's like one.
I gotta get my ghetto girl. How you doing, KK?
Hey, KK. KK Pratchett, where you at, girl?
What's up, girl?
Hey, girl. Class 86. Big Harlem. We're gonna let Joe
Put
finish
your
this.
hands up, girl.
We're gonna
It's okay,
let
Bobby.
Joe finish.
The show has just ran away.
Okay, come
I'm
back.
gonna
We're
finish
serious.
off
Okay,
the
I'm
wine.
serious. I'm serious now. Here we go.
Bring it on back.
Everybody come back.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna finish off the wine. I've lost control.
You're out of control. That's what.
I could have said something, but I'm gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you make it.
My point is that in the scale of problems, right? I've got hundreds of millions, right? Versus tens of thousands if I give them like really a lot of credit, right?
But if
That
we can't deal with
scale-
tens of thousands, then how are we gonna deal with millions? You see what I'm saying? It's like, oh well, I can't fix 4 glasses of wine, but I can fix 400 glasses of wine. Can you?
Really?
So,
Well,
wait.
okay,
So
let's-
my question is this: is one more fixable than the other? I definitely don't know. But here's
I would hope.
what I want to ask. Right? Trump, who every time I say his Trump. Every time I say his name, I follow it with a
Sounds
statement.
familiar.
No, I don't recognize
Okay.
it.
I every time I say his
Is that
name,
a
I
card game?
I think.
No, that's Tunk.
Oh, okay.
Uno.
Spades.
Is there any more?
Dunk.
You got any
When
more
you
of
go
this
to
in
the
the kitchen?
No?
Don't we have enough?
You can have my glass.
He's gonna
'Cause
need
she's-
it.
Listen,
No.
I said every time I say his name, I have to throw this disqualifier in there, who I did not vote for.
Should be able to
right?
live
I
their
say
lives
this.
as long as it doesn't hurt other people. Thank you, Teresa.
Go, Teresa.
Folks,
I'm
not being
I'm gonna do it for you. There.
folks not being able to accept others' cultures is an issue. People should be able to live their lives as long as it doesn't hurt other people.
Especially since everybody's black. Cheers.
But see,
You
that's
were
an
saying,
that's
Joe.
an expectation on our side.
Everybody's
None of
human.
us in this room
Everybody's
intend to commit a terrorist act.
Hang on, let me finish.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Let Joe finish. It's his
All right.
show.
Okay. He's got the floor.
It's my show, dang it!
Jump on the chair. Give me some time.
Yes,
Cruise. It's
I'm gonna
my
jump
show.
up. All right.
Good.
Before you start, do you have another bottle?
I don't, but we have some more box wine
Focus,
over there.
Cindy. Focus.
Okay, focus.
Your focus
Right.
needs more focus.
Focus.
I do have lots of wine, just not another bottle
Okay,
of this.
gotcha.
Drink slowly.
Trump caught all kind of flack for saying he wanted to put a halt on immigration, right? Everybody was up in arms about this, right? With a certain segment from a certain region. And my question is this: if we have KKK, domestic terrorism, all this sort of thing, they're already here, they've been here for forever, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a different type of problem than when you look at a country like Great Britain, France, etc., who have had a open immigration policy for a specific amount of time, and now are dealing with no-go zones in their community, where entirely diametrically opposed worldviews are now in place in their country because they've had an open immigration problem that has allowed these societies to now en masse, right? So is that really an unrealistic or
Fathomable.
unfathomable?
Unequitable.
Is it a bad position to hold to say?
That's a good word.
Thank you. Right. It
Our
was way
vocabulary
too.
is on fleek.
Thank you.
You're okay.
It was
Thank you.
way too big
Shout out to
words
my
for my
mother.
second or third glass of wine.
Has it worked out?
Right.
What,
So
my vocabulary? Yeah,
No.
it's great.
No,
go
In
ahead.
this situation.
in other words, is that really such a bad idea to say,
Thanks,
look, until we come up with a better way to
Yeah,
vet
let's start.
people coming into the country,
Mhm.
because it seems not to be working out where they haven't done that, is
Right.
that is such a bad idea?
Well, here's the problem with that, though, because we're a capitalist society. We have dollars and cents that are tied to the people. Case in point, I teach on the community college level, among
So
other
do I.
things.
You,
Okay,
y'all been- are
and
you
so
listening?
my international students represent a fair amount of income. I mean, like they pay like they're going to a 5-year and getting
Yep.
a PhD.
Yep.
So they represent a capitalist view, and so it is valuable for them to be here to our
To
economic
us.
to our economic landscape.
Absolutely.
And that is the unfortunate of many things because we are a capitalist society. We don't weigh right and wrong. We weigh what's right and what's economical.
Thank you.
Very true.
So we
So
no
What's
longer look
right
at what's
according
wrong.
to what's
No.
right according to our agenda,
Right.
and
what's
what's
right according
economic
to
to
the
our
bank
bottom
account.
line.
Yeah.
There you go.
And how does it affect
It's
our
all
bottom
about the
line?
bottom line. And
Always.
don't get me wrong.
We love the tuition,
The
right?
Listen,
United
listen,
States
You
Inc.
love the fact that you
Yep.
know what, I'm not going to say that on there. But you love the tuition.
Say it.
Absolutely. No, can't do that. But we love the tuition. We love how the tuition feeds into the economy.
Yep.
We love how that bolsters the local economy, then bolsters the national economy, right? And then we have the undocumented workers that actually do contribute to our GDP just in a very quiet way. So at the end of the day, because there are dollars and cents tied to these particular ethnic groups, that's why people get up in arms.
So there's an acceptable level of influx. If you put all of that on one end of the scale, and then you look at the other end of the scale where we talk about the sovereignty issues, the security issues, and the threat that it poses,
Sure.
somehow or another the risk and benefit, the risk
Right.
here, the benefit outweighs the risk
Absolutely.
of trying to clamp down on the problem.
Right, because we're America. Realizing that we're the only country in the world, I read this somewhere, I don't have a factoid or
Was
a
it
study.
evidence-based, critical?
Well, I don't know.
scholarly?
David's not here to give me all my facts. So that being
The
said,
viewers will look it up and
They're
and
gonna
put
look
it
okay,
up.
good.
We-
So I read somewhere that America is the only country in the world that doesn't have ruins. So what that says to me is that we are so stupid and arrogant that when the Gulf of Mexico comes in and ravages the Ninth Ward in New Orleans, we just rebuild because that's what Americans do. World Trade Center, what's there now? A monument.
And right down the street.
And right down the street, a big freaking building.
Exactly.
Right
We
back at it.
rebuild. And so in our arrogance, I think what happens is the reason why the benefits outweigh the risk is because, oh well, whatever happened, we'll rebuild. Which means we don't value people.
There is a strength there. No, I definitely see where you're going with
We
this. I mean,
value
there is a
checks.
strength. Our ability to rebound as a people, as a culture, as a nation, we do kick ass when something happens.
Even when we shouldn't. Even when we shouldn't. Because we all know there are some places
Should we
where
have not rebuilt after 9/11 in New York City?
I don't know. That's
Why? Okay.
because that's my prerogative. I don't know.
Well, I sure as heck didn't want to put a big
You know, I
old
was
pile
singing that in my
of rubble.
head.
I took great offense. I took great offense at what happened that day.
You should.
Okay, and I did not want a big old pile of rubble there to remind me of something horrible that happened.
Well, I'm not
now,
saying
when
leave the rubble there.
understand, but we had to rebuild. New
We
York
did?
had to rebuild. Yes.
Okay.
So
Do we have to rebuild the lower nine without rebuilding a better levee system?
well, from what I heard, that levee system was improved.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
was
they
it not?
They added
They
a
added
bar.
bricks.
Yeah, they added.
Okay,
bricks.
they added bricks. Okay, well, okay.
Yeah, that's-
what
that's-
was supposed to
I
happen
don't know
there
jack
then?
about that.
Look at the Netherlands and you will have your answer.
Okay, that's a tremendous dike system.
So, what is your point?
Leah
If you
Mills
cared about the
says.
people,
Leah-
Well, they got ahead of it.
Hey,
They-
Leah.
they-
Leah,
they-
by the way, she's got to read your quote in a second. I just want to say, Leah, if you're in Houston, you need
she's
to
an
be
awesome
on the
guest.
show.
She's an
You
awesome
need to be
guest.
on the
I
show,
had her on
Leah.
my
I'm just going to tell you, go ahead and ping me so I can get you scheduled to be on the show.
My people
Leah's
rock.
comment
All right.
is absolutely amazing. The KKK is as Christian as Westboro Baptist Church is
True.
Baptist. There is a pretty consistent hijacking of our vocabulary
That's
for
true.
hard causes. I could call myself an astronaut. However,
Yes, right. So,
And I
in
feel
which,
you on that.
Yeah.
I'll
But
make
they call
the.
themselves Islam.
Right, I
They
was
do.
just going to say, I was
They
just going to
do.
go there.
They do.
However, right, that's the counter argument
Mm-hmm.
that Muslims say the same thing about radical Islam, right? However, again, I have to go back to in that rebuttal and say that's fine if you
Mm-hmm.
had 8,000 radical Muslims running around doing the same thing as the KKK.
You might. I
Then
don't
that's
know.
a valid argument. However, I have read numerous, not just one or two, but numerous studies from America, from Great Britain, from
Mm-hmm.
all around the world that they all use the number between 6 and 13%, right?
Okay.
Radical Islam. And in that definition, they say people who are willing to kill in the name of their cause and or who believe that it is okay, right? So it includes people who say, well, I wouldn't drive my car into a place and blow it up, but I'm okay with somebody else doing it, right? They count that as radical Islam, right? 6 and 13%. 1.6 billion, 1.7 billion people. Do the math. I mean, that's a lot of freaking people. 130 million plus people is not even remotely comparable to 8,000.
okay.
It's just not.
What is their agenda?
What is their agenda?
What's the agenda
Of
the
radical Islam?
Islam?
Radical Islam wants to see Sharia, wants to see Islam
I
as
thought you were
the
talking about my cousin. I'm
World-
sorry.
I got a Sharia. too.
Worldwide dominance.
We call it
Worldwide
Shia-
caliphate.
Call it Shay Shay?
Caliphate.
Riri?
caliphate.
Okay.
Thank you. A
Riri,
worldwide
okay.
caliphate,
Woo-hoo!
right?
I'm sorry.
Where Islam is the religion. It is
Mhm.
the religion, period. Anything else that either does not agree is subjugated,
Right.
right? It may be peaceful, great. You know, we'll tax you at like double the rate, and that's you'll just have to deal with that. But we'll let you be here, and you can peacefully
You can
go.
hang
and-
around a little bit out there.
Right. You're not going to get all the freedoms, and if I'm walking down the street, you better get out of my way. That's what the ultimate goal of radical Islam is. And we don't have to theorize. We can see it. We go to France, we go to Great Britain, we go to Germany, we go to a number of places who have allowed it in mass.
Right.
And there are communities. Again, the police of that nation, the people who are supposed to be enforcing the law said, no, I ain't going over there.
Okay.
And you
That's
do,
what
A
and you
different-
do
a
know
different
how.
question.
You do know how the domestic treatment of women in those countries is, right? You do
Oh,
see
absolutely.
that. Is that
Awesome.
something
There are
that,
no
They're
women.
queens.
Huh?
I'm totally kidding.
Yeah,
I know.
they aren't, they,
So,
you know, what
from
women?
my
What
position,
women?
from my position, I would absolutely die to keep that from happening to you in this room. That's my commitment.
I appreciate
So
that.
I don't want that
Likewise.
in this country.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you did
care
good
if you
job.
wanna
What are you talking about?
coexist or excuse it. I'm not gonna
Likewise.
allow that to happen to y'all.
So-
That's where we need to step up. We need to reject it as a belief that is not conducive to our Judeo-Christian
Christian.
values. It's okay to have Judeo-Christian values. It's okay to reject something that doesn't support our beliefs,
This is like
our
another.
faith.
But
So are
everybody
the terrorist
doesn't
acts,
have.
the acts of the terrorists, are
Uh-huh.
they just big bully movements? Like, what is it
Oh,
that
yeah.
the terrorists are trying to get you to do, Steve?
They are
Yeah.
trying to destroy everything what we
Built?
value.
Who's
Well,
we?
value.
Because there's a lot of belief systems that are present. So does that mean if we start this cycle, if we get rid of the Judeo-Christians, does that mean, okay, so what sect do we get rid of, and do we get rid of the Baptists, and do we let the Lutherans stay, and how does that work? Or,
Who do
you know,
they wanna get rid
and
of?
do we get rid of the atheist? 1 minute is not your show right now. So,
Boom.
who do we get rid of? Who are we getting rid of? Who?
Yeah, I don't think it's a question what we get rid of, it's
Okay.
what we're
Here's the
trying
thing.
to protect.
Okay,
Hang on. I've had this quote pulled up for a while because I wanted to go back
I
to this.
saw that.
Right.
Go.
The founding fathers. People can like it or not like it. It is a reality, and I'll debate it with anybody who wants to be on the show. I've studied it quite a bit. The founding fathers, like it or not, had an extremely Christian worldview. 50 of the 53 founding fathers were devout Christians. 29 of those actually attended schools that are now like, seminary schools. There were multiple pastors in that in that group. So to argue that group of people
And
with those
slave
resumes, I'm sorry,
and slave owners. But go
and
ahead.
slave owners, it's fine. Another subject, different show.
No, we can,
Right.
we can.
Another
we
show.
can- yeah.
We
We
can
can
meld
talk.
that in. We can meld that in.
You know what?
It's all relevant.
We say this
People are
is
fallible.
an hour show, but we go over every show, and it's freaking okay because it's my show. Deal with it,
Deal with it.
right? Ain't nobody shutting us off.
This is internet
This bar-
real estate, baby.
Right,
Leave
right.
me hanging. Give me my
Right.
fist bump.
Bam.
This is internet
Sorry.
real estate. This is how you blow up. This is how you break the internet
That's
and make
right.
money.
That's right.
This is how you do it.
All right,
I thought
so
you
check
got
this out.
naked and looked like a.
You do that too.
Oh,
but
okay.
If that's your jam, or you
Okay.
can do this, what he's doing, or you can do what you're doing on his show.
Okay.
That's not your show.
That's
So-
right. I was just,
It's his show. You like my hype man.
I know, right?
I didn't act like this before.
Oh,
Melanin,
Girl
sweet.
power. Wow.
That's kidding.
these are my friends. I just want to say these are my
We're not
friends.
sexist.
Wait.
We're not racist. We're not.
Hashtag.
We are. It's a hashtag.
Hashtag melanin on Twitter.
Hashtag.
I'm here for the ride.
Share that. Share that. Hashtag Melanin on Fleek. And I'll just
That's my
throw it out there.
You got
Um,
my YouTube girl. Go hashtag that.
You can drop something.
So, to
Oh, love that.
I'm getting
So-
I am
shade.
minority technically.
You are.
Joe attempts to take control of his show. Take two.
Click.
This time with feeling.
Feeling.
On you.
Oh God,
So-
I'm not gonna sing.
Our founding fathers, like it or not, had a very Christian-centric worldview. That is a reality. They spoke of religious freedom in the context of we're all Christians,
Which Christian?
right?
Which
That's what I mean. Religious freedom. They're like, be any flavor of Christian you want.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That was the context that they
Just don't be
spoke
free
of,
if you're black.
right?
Okay.
So when
and
they came,
and they didn't want to establish a state religion.
right? So
The government
so
was not going to have any kind of say so in that.
So when they said things like there will always, Thomas Jefferson, there will always be a separation of church and state, that the context of that statement was there will never be a recognized Christian church that we say is the authoritative body of the United States, like there was in England, which was the Church of England, which persecuted people. It wasn't like, oh, God has no place in government, God should never be connected with government, church has no business. No, it wasn't even close to that. We're talking about a government that commissioned and paid for, 1777, put down 20 grand, which in
That's
70s,
a lot of
freaking money, and to bring Bibles into the United States. Right? So don't tell me that they didn't have religion and God connected to government. That's
Do we want to talk
absolute
about the
bogus.
Bible on this show?
We can,
They
absolutely.
don't wanna go there, we are already at 6:05.
Do we wanna talk about Christendom on this show?
Yeah, so listen, I'm gonna back up
The
here.
duchy known as?
I want to quote this because I think this all ties back to the terrorism and all this conversation we're having. John Adams said, "We have no government armed with power, capable of contending with human passions, unbridled by morality and religion. Avarice, ambition, revenge, or gallantry would break the strongest cords of our Constitution as a whale goes through a net. Our Constitution is only designed only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate for any other." Right? So to try to argue that God has no place in government in the context of those kind of statements from people, John Adams is the architect of the Declaration of Independence. He was the man behind the pen that was Thomas Jefferson, because he flat out said Jefferson just had a better pen. He had a better way with words. Right?
Jefferson was a better writer.
Yes.
And that's why he
I
tasked
thought he
him
had a
with that.
ballpoint in the other one. But okay.
He stood behind him and said, "No, you should say this, say it this way, say it that way." He was one of the chief architects of the Constitution. He was such a massive influence. So to take that kind of a quote and understand that he absolutely knew that I can put anything in writing, I can create all these laws and stuff, but our government was only created and will only work for a moral and religious people. And that religion, like it or not, was Christianity.
Woo! Let
Within-
me go get a shot. I'll be back.
Wait a minute.
Within the context of Christianity, there's all sorts of flavors.
Okay.
There's all sorts of flavors.
How many Bibles are in that Christianity?
How many Bibles at that time? The Geneva Bible was the #1 Bible. The King James Bible had been commissioned by King James.
Which one were paid for to be the 20,000 gram?
That was called the
20,000 grand,
Aiken
20
Bible. A-I-K-E-N.
Yeah, they
Aiken
were
Bible.
aching when they got it.
The Congress signed off on it and said, hey, it's a good translation, it's reliable, and it's worthwhile for our society. So, Aiken,
And what purpose did it serve?
Aiken was trying to really push them to say, sign off on it and invest in it and y'all distribute it and
For the purpose of
education,
Controlling.
using it in school, etc.
Control.
Hang on, back up a step. That was
I'm just
Aiken's.
saying.
That was Aiken's position.
That
He
like
was
Akon, the rapper? Tell me that.
A-I-K-E-N.
I'm being funny.
I know.
You are funny.
I am a little
And
I would have
he,
rather got it from Akon, the rapper. No, go ahead.
being the capitalist that he was, Aiken was a publisher. He was trying to get, hey, look, maybe I can corner this market.
Right.
His position was,
I'm gonna write my
He was marketing.
yeah, exactly. He was like, look, the U.S. government should have a say in what is authoritative when it comes to Scripture. That was his position. And that's really, he was going for the gold, right?
Right.
To get it all. They came back and said, look, we will spend government dollars to put together a commission, group of experts. At that time, it was the Congress chaplains, to study what you're putting together and see if it's accurate, if you're doing a good job, right? So they spent government dollars to do that, right? They came back, the chaplain said, look, good job, what you're putting together is good work.
Whose team was the chaplain on?
Whose
Whose
team?
team and who's... See, what we're leaving out, I think, is the fact that everyone, the people that are in cahoots with the formulating of the commissions and the structures and the constructs and all that, whose team and what was the ultimate agenda?
So, to jump in with that,
Okay.
because the Congress didn't go as far as he wanted to go. They only came back and said, good job,
Okay.
you're putting together a good piece of work, right? It's worthy of distribution, do your thing,
Okay.
right? But they didn't go as far as he wanted to go and saying, we're going to get on board and back you and yours is going to be the official version and all that stuff, right? They didn't go that far. That's what he was shooting for. However, the whole idea of separation of church and state, in 1777, they committed money, a lot of money, to import Bibles because they thought that was a vital part of American society, right? Yeah, which absolutely was, right? As Adam said, we're putting together this document, this legal document, but it's freaking useless. It's useless if we do not have a moral and religious society because we can't put together enough rules and laws to govern people when their heart isn't yielded to God. That was his point when he said that, right?
There is a definition for that, Joe, and it's called being virtuous. And it's not a real, I'm not going at it from a biblical standpoint. It's they wanted the people that populated this area to be of a virtuous nature, understanding the simplicity between the differences of right and wrong. And you get that, and things tend to work out for the most part, but you're still going to have problems.
Steve, I'm sorry to be
It's already
rude.
a problem.
Steve,
No,
I'm
The
sorry.
virtues of the,
Here we go.
everybody wasn't
Wait, wait.
included in that.
Wait,
in
save
that
this
plan.
thought, please. Save this
Everybody
thought.
was not included. Okay.
Save this thought, please, for me, right? I want to address Howard Dorsey. Howard
Hey, Howard.
Howard said, I really don't think he should be talking religion. He then said, is this a show in religion? And then he asked, Bible's written by whom? Okay, so Howard, this is my show.
Ask him how many people did each one of them enslave. He went on to say.
This is my show, Howard. Hang on. And this show, Howard, is about whatever the heck we want to talk about. We talk about everything on this show that everybody says you're never supposed to talk about. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. Well, you know what? Those are the freaking most important things to talk about. And so the idea of the show, Howard, is to have civil discourse. That it's okay to have differing views. Cindy, my friend, my buddy, that we do business together with, who I just adore, I think she's a great gal, has different views than me. And it's okay, Howard. We can disagree. So you can think, hey, I don't think I should talk about religion. Why? Why, Howard?
Howard is on our team too. He's
So-
also in the Whine gang.
Yeah,
And-
Howard, I want to say, be clear, love you already.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying this to be disrespectful.
Not at
Where
all.
I was trying to drum up some,
We all have
feistiness.
passion. We
Right.
all have
Yeah,
passion.
don't upset him because he may not have a coping mechanism.
Oh Lord, have somebody.
Right?
Okay, I don't have time for that. Okay?
My point, Howard, is
I ain't
to
always
say,
been saved.
why shouldn't we talk about religion? You're saying, is this show about religion?
No.
It is today. It's not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
It's actually about wine, but I don't have any.
It's
That's good.
Hey,
You're
Bobby.
too
Out.
fast.
We have one glass.
the box.
This is actually what he didn't tell me. This is the
We
this
need
is
the
the
box.
wine, not wine. This is the one glass of wine show.
Bobby the box
Wow.
man. Thank you, Bobby.
We got
The
you.
black
Can I have
box.
your
Black
red glass,
box.
please?
Oh,
Help
yes.
us, Lord.
All right, here we go.
Hey.
Ready?
Pour on the show.
If it's any consolation,
Oh,
that
this
is
is
my
red. I
favorite
want
black
wine.
box.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
That's
this
good,
is
that's
this
good,
is
that's
Okay,
Woo!
so we're
I
gonna
like
wrap
it.
up, and next
Bobby.
week.
If there's a box, I want my box to be a black box.
Okay, I'm like, I said,
Huh?
and that
She's not
concludes
gonna
our
drink
show.
Oh, she's not going to drink this if,
Yeah,
if
you
you
can.
want it.
I want that wine.
TABC may
Yes.
come
Yeah,
now.
that
Why is it-
I have my TABC license.
I don't care.
Shouts
I'm gonna
out
be your
to-
mom
I,
today.
I
Direct
felt
sellers.
compelled to make a joke
Well,
there,
Joe's
but
my
I'll let it
Joe's my
slide.
uncle, so
Is he really?
No.
The white wine. The white
That's
wine.
really good.
White.
You know you like some-
White's on fleek right now.
That's right. You know you like
Well,
some white
last
wine,
week
don't
the
you?
wine was African
Yes.
Last week the wine was African American. I was very proud.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
South
South
Africa. That
Africa.
Reserve Bank?
And it was
Oh
in
my
America.
God, it's good.
I gave it 5. I think I gave it 5
Yes.
grapes.
All right, so look,
So what did we give this wine? Did we rate the wine?
we rate the wine at the end of the
At
show.
the end of the show.
Well,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going
Let
to
me
have
let you
the end
run
of
the
the
show.
show whether we want to or not. Cause
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming
I'm
up,
glad to
right?
find a bookend
it's
here.
flashing.
I know.
Yes, so we're wrapping up. We're going to wrap up. This is kind of a good point to bring the show to a close.
I really want Kristi's opinion on this whole.
I know, Kristi.
issue.
Let's hear from the
Yes.
millennial.
We need the
Please.
millennial.
let me be honest with you.
Please, chime in.
From my perspective, from a young person's perspective,
Younger. I
Oh,
told
wow.
you.
Wow. Again with the
from
bus.
the youngest person in
Just
the
drove
room's
it right
perspective
over
to
us.
represent all the other young people, because I can guarantee you right now, there's not a
That's
single
wonderful.
person under a certain age
That's
that is watching the show.
I
So-
know. It's so sad.
I can guarantee you that.
exactly.
You should
because
share it
they
with
just-
your
They can learn a lot.
They don't hear this. They're not.
Give, and you know the next word I'm gonna say.
Say it.
They just
A
don't.
flying rat's butt.
You're old enough to say that.
They just don't. And so I think it's interesting, and that's why I'm not so opinionated and I'm not so vocal on the show, because I want to
Oh, wait,
absorb
it's
your
not good.
ideals, because young people my age, we haven't developed these ideas
That's
yet.
because we failed you, but that's a whole different
We
show.
definitely failed. It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It is not their
No,
fault.
that's
They
That's
why-
came,
another show.
listen, they
But
came,
we
they,
love you. Big hearts.
Thanks.
they
That's
came to
why I
us
said
with
what
the
I said earlier.
questions. We didn't have the answers.
Well, see,
So
that's a different
But that's-
conversation because
it
I'm
is.
like,
That's the young people perspective. Let's go ahead and let
younger.
Joe.
I've
young-
already told you.
That's the young
Don't let me tell
generation.
you again, Kristi.
I'm just used to being like uber younger
That's
than everyone
okay.
else.
I'm still
just
saying
used
okay.
But that's the younger person's perspective on that. Because they just don't care. They just don't.
What do you millennials care about?
Depends on the day and the moment.
Technology.
This is what we
As
care
long
about.
as you've got,
As long
and
as
it's
we
not
have-
even, it's not even technology, it's Apple.
It's
Oh.
anything.
Love for Apple.
Ooh.
And I'm not Apple, I'm an Android.
Anything that's
Android.
entertaining.
S8, I'm just saying.
I'm just
S8,
saying.
don't
I mean,
hate.
Android all the way,
Kristi is
babe.
talking. She's
Right.
talking.
See, and that's just the problem that younger people have. Just older generations don't listen to
So-
us.
I'm
So-
listening to you.
I appreciate that because you're close to my
Absolutely.
age.
So what are,
You wish.
so what are we gonna do to get the millennials to start being engaged with some real ish?
Well, we have to do the same thing that happened. We have to threaten what they care about because that's the only time that really people
Ooh.
become concerned.
Dang.
Well, in
Shut off the
reality,
internet.
in reality, it
That
takes
just broke
time.
everything.
Hey, Kristi, it takes time. It takes experience. It takes.
I mean, let's be honest.
How do you like
Education.
this tone right here? Like, is this tone working for you?
We're
It
all
doesn't.
accustomed
It
to that.
shouldn't.
No, Kristi.
I'm a 20-year-old professional woman.
Yes.
I'm younger than everyone I know, and I work in a male-dominated business.
So the tone
So,
that he's working
The
with
tone where people think I'm ignorant, the tone where people think that they have to mansplain things to me, I'm accustomed to it. I'm numb to it.
Did you
and
say
honestly,
mansplain?
She said man.
Hashtag mansplain.
I honestly just
Melanin
Not
on
explain, man. I
Give it to
absolutely
her.
love that.
I'm
Hashtag
adopting her.
mansplain.
I'm
sorry.
adopting her. This
I'm-
is my new boo.
I'm not so much, and I'm upset because people have become accustomed to this idea of a radical feminist, where we're just
Stop
like,
being radical.
accept me,
I've written papers on radical feminism.
What
So
were
yeah.
you pointing? What?
Yeah,
Really?
I've done a lot of
accept
research.
my feminism.
You don't
It's
know?
real.
No,
In the
People
field.
have become accustomed to this
I
idea
was
that just because you're a
That Trump
feminist,
likes to grab.
you're radical.
Right.
I don't have to be radical to want to be equivalent to the men in my industry.
You better speak,
Absolutely
girl.
not.
I don't have to be radical to not want to be mansplained. You don't have to speak slowly to me.
Hashtag millennial on fleek.
Look,
Hashtag millennial
Hashtag
on
light,
fleek.
light melanin on fleek.
Joe.
Get out.
look.
I know your hearing aid might be a little low right now, but it's fine.
Mansplain. Hashtag mansplain.
And that's
Is that
real
with a
thing.
hyphen or is that
And men
just one
sometimes
word?
don't even realize
What
that they're
mansplain?
doing it.
Yeah, is that with a hyphen or one word?
But it's also
Man.
because mansplain is one word.
Okay,
One
got
word.
it.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Is
all
it a
one
real
word.
word?
I lost the
Yeah.
video. Where'd the video go?
Here, honey.
What happened, Bobby?
All right.
It's big for
Google
you.
it.
Here you
Okay.
go.
All right, so look,
Mansplaining is real.
And
it
I
is
love your
real.
pink.
Thanks.
Most definitely.
Oh, we've had.
Somebody
See,
said
I'm
that.
liking all the comments.
Yeah, so
right
my
now.
boyfriend's out there right now because he's my ride.
Is
Oh,
he your ride
that's right.
or die though? That's the question.
He is my ride or die. He's
Right.
also illegal.
What?
Oh dang!
Ice is out there.
Boom! Come for me.
It's
Look.
parents' fault for not educating their kids. I educated my kid and he gets it. All right then, Shannon.
Woo!
You go,
That's
girl.
right.
Let's
That's
wrap up this
right.
show so
That's
she
what I'm
can go
talking
home. Bless her heart, and I can too.
And Howard, if you were still watching, I would love to have you on the show, bud. Come on anytime.
We'll
Love to
fly
have
him
you
in from
on.
the
Most
Virgin
passionate I've
Islands.
ever got on
For
the
not
show.
flying him.
There you
Hey,
I have that effect
it's
on
okay.
her.
You're in town.
Hey,
Stop
come
by.
on through, Howard. We got a wine tasting on Sunday.
That's right.
Can you check some flights? And
That's
see if
right.
you can
That's
make
right.
it?
Come
So
on, Howard.
Come on, Howie.
We want to
we're gonna wrap up with this point.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that for me.
You're
We're gonna wrap up with this,
I'll put it
guys.
on your bill.
You know, another great show. Lots of fun. I don't know that we solved any world problems, but
We
But-
certainly
It's all more.
kicked it around
Really,
a lot.
Definitely.
but
I'm happy with
the
it.
problem that I am trying to solve to wrap up on this is that it's obvious we hold differing views. And it's freaking okay. You're not going to grow a I disagree tumor and die. I promise.
The
Are
worst
you
that can happen from a
sure?
show like this.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Are you
We
sure?
get to enjoy some great wine because we're in a wine club. Shameless plug. Cheers.
DC.
That's
hey,
right.
Are you direct seller? Hey, DC.
Check out my page and look for the wine post. Hit me up. If you like wine and you want to get paid, literally paid, to drink premium wines from all around the world, I'm getting a phone call. Who the hell's calling me? What's wrong with them? Don't they know I'm on a show?
He's on the.
He's telling us to
he's
turn
on
our
the
phones
TV.
down.
I mean,
Wait
he's
a
on
minute.
the Facebook.
You're out of control.
On the Facebook.
I know.
Show
On
me
the
the
Facebook.
Facebook.
All right,
He's on the
so
book.
we're going to wrap up the show with a rating of today's wine.
We have no grapes.
We have no grapes, so we're just going to say how many grapes we're going to give the
1 to 5 grapes.
For a Song Chardonnay from Zilla, Washington. It's a 2015 Chardonnay. Don't even try to get me Caliche, Lake Vineyard. Caliche Lake Vineyard.
It might be Kalish.
Kalish. It could be
It might be
Kalish.
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 Do we know for sure? Let me
No, I
look.
don't.
Nobody knows.
It could be Kalish.
It's a nice Chardonnay from Washington. That's
There we go.
We got that part.
She should know the phonics of this.
From Zilla, Washington. We're gonna rate this. So,
Yes.
Steve, how many grapes do you give today's wine on a 1 to 5 scale?
I'm gonna have to give it a 3. It was pleasant to sip. It had a good flavor. It finished well. It didn't upset my palate. So I would buy it, and I would drink just a minimum amount of it. I mean, I've had better, but you know.
You wanted more apple pie, huh?
I wanted more apple
I
pie.
can taste the apple, by the way. I can taste the
I'd
apple.
love to see a real apple pie flavor come out of it. You know,
We have
the
to get you
cinnamon
some
and
Boone's Farm or
the
something
sugar.
for that.
Well, yeah.
Boone's Farm. That's the one alcohol that I know what it is.
Oh, you
That's
know
that
about
screw
the
top
Boone's.
stuff, and I know my wife is going to like that reference because she loves screw top wine, not the cork stuff. So yeah.
What we didn't do is we didn't go through the 5 S's.
We did.
And it's okay. So
Really?
I'm gonna do a
We
really
jumped.
One's
We
go
jumped
I'm gonna do
straight to number
we
4.
jumped straight to 4. Like we just went there. We didn't even put our nose in it at all. So the 5 S's. First, you have to see the wine. If I had a backdrop, a white backdrop, it would.
Wait a minute.
Oh man!
I'm just kidding. So you got a white backdrop. You're looking at your wine. You want to look at the consistency. You want to see you want to see the thickness. You want to see the volume of it. And then the next step is to swirl. You want to swirl it and watch those legs grow, especially.
I love
so
watching the legs.
So you can watch those legs.
Appearance on the bottom.
I hear that about
Or
you.
on the
Yeah, they
bottom.
are.
So
Yeah,
many.
sorry, bottom.
I'm a leg
Barely.
fan.
So he's a leg fan. The legs
My legs have the
will
best
give
legs.
you an idea of the potency of the wine because the thicker
Yes.
the legs, the slower the legs drizzle, you'll know that you're getting
You're
a
saying
really
the
good.
thickness of the leg,
The thicker the better.
the thicker the better.
The thicker the better, baby.
Y'all heard me.
Yeah, the thicker the better. We want
The
them
thicker
thick
the
legs.
legs.
Is it
Right.
getting warm in here? Is it just me?
Get
Big legs
hot.
rule today, people.
Our next S is to smell, and you want to put your nose in the glass, and
Put your nose in
put
it.
your nose in it.
If you start snorting wine, we are not responsible here on the
The
wine.
next,
no wine.
so you want to smell all of the aromas. We talked about apple pie. What else was in
Caramel,
there? Caramel,
honey.
honey,
Marmalade.
marmalade. There's a lot of good aromas in this, and that's what happens also after you stir and you smell. All of the aromas are coming. It's a little woody in there too.
It is a little woody.
A little woody.
I thought that.
Yeah, a little woody. A little wood there. Hey, I'm
Are
just
you
saying.
thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
I'm just
the same
saying.
thing,
I'm
honey?
just
You
saying.
got wood and
And
thick
you got wood in
thighs.
there. You
I
got thighs,
see
thick
you.
thighs and wood.
Oh.
So, and this is a Christian show. So
It is.
we're gonna get off the wood and the
Christians
thighs.
have thighs and wood.
They
Don't
do. Yes.
That's another show.
Absolutely.
Keep
That's
going with
another
your
show.
swirling thing.
So
Don't do
then
that.
we sip. And when you sip, hey, Jefferson Green, I'm getting better at the sip. This is the official way that you sip. You don't just, put it in your mouth. You have to give it a slurp like this.
Woo. I am really
Did the
not good at this
microphone
step.
pick that up?
I have alternately just called this step slam it.
Oh,
And then
no wonder we
swallow.
don't know how to do it.
And then swallow.
And you
Of
said there's
course.
5
Hey, you know
That's
what,
fine.
Joe? I really like her explanation of the S's than yours. I think she pulls that off real well.
Yes.
Well,
I was
that last
totally
She's an
enraptured.
expert.
I got
Thank
nothing.
you so much.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? So, yeah. So that, and then you give a wine like this. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. The only reason I'm not giving it a 5 is because you went so low on a 3, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing something. But then I just love wine. So
We'll talk about it later.
True
We'll
story.
talk. But
I also felt it was a very solid white. I was very impressed. I quite liked it. Very smooth finish for me.
very good for the palate.
That's a big deal. I am primarily a red drinker, so when I rate it, I try to keep that in context. Yeah, Steve, if you just appreciated the wine more, you would give it a higher rating. I'm just saying.
Oh my.
I appreciate it more because I'm drinking it with friends. So.
There you, good answer. Good answer. Cheers, sir. Cheers, sir. I have to agree with Cindy on this. This would have been a 5 for me. I'm only going to drop it down a little bit because Steve was so harsh.
Steve,
All
come
right,
on.
time out. I'm gonna amend my rating. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Hey, it was all
I can
five
do that. That's the
Peer
typical
pressure?
political thing to
Peer
do.
pressure?
No,
Yeah, I
it
was
had
gonna
nothing
say-
to do with peace
Okay.
or peer pressure. I'm gonna amend
Peace.
my
You know,
He took another
because I can
sip.
do that because
Yeah.
I can.
If you genuinely feel it was a 4, then I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
I genuinely do.
All right.
I
If you
didn't
felt
mean
it
to
was a
slam
3,
it.
I'm going to be upset with you for making it a 4.
No.
All right. I give it a solid 4. This is like a 4, 4.5 for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
awesome. I'm gonna give it a 5 for the thick thighs.
The thick thighs got her, honey. The thick thighs.
Woo!
I love it.
I'm just saying.
Are you ready?
And if you, what would you give?
Did you even sip it?
I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
had, I had like 4 or 5 sips of it. Go back and double check that.
Okay.
I just want to point out this is somebody who doesn't drink wine at all.
I don't drink any alcoholic beverages.
Because you're not
Well,
old
you-
enough.
Well, you do now.
Will
I'm
you
not-
next year?
Because
Will
I'm
you-
not old. I turned 21 in a couple months. I turned 21 in July.
Will you drink on your birthday?
Absolutely, I'm
She's
gonna
an
get
alcohol
wasted.
virgin.
So my
Here
virgin
comes the
talk.
CABC.
I'm gonna give it a 1 grape because, well, hear me out here. The
Yeah.
last wine we drank was a red, and it burned me. Like I was like, this is terrible. How do people drink this?
Wow.
And they were just down in it like nothing. And I was like, this tastes awful.
Was it your first, kind of your first
That
time?
was my
having-
first time ever drinking
Oh,
wine.
yeah, it's gonna burn. It's a dry. Oh, yeah. It's gonna burn.
So the
Yeah.
red wine was
It should
disgusting.
never burn.
I gave it a 0 grape.
Because Boone Farms is like a different, whole different.
I've never even really had Boone Farm. I'm
We're
just from
gonna
the
have
ghetto.
She's
Boone
never
Farm
even
next
really
show.
had.
Right? But
Yeah,
the
she's
farm,
never even
like,
really
like a
had.
nice
I
blue.
just-
Hey,
I've never really had.
I knew what it was because I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in
Okay.
Guns
Hey,
Point.
Joe,
Okay.
we need to come up with
So.
an idea of how do we introduce millennials to
I'm the
wine.
only millennial that's ever been
Oh,
on
How
the
do
show.
we
Awesome.
how do we pick a white, a red
That's
He
how I
For
said
feel.
the
for
we need to add
It's a
their
food-
taste buds
millennials.
because
I will
it
tell
is
you.
a developed
It's a
It's a developed
They haven't
taste.
done it. This
Oh
is
my
not
God.
the show for
The
them.
first time I had a
It's
dry
almost the
red
same
wine, I was like,
wine
I
Oh,
would
yeah.
never.
Yeah.
I
And it was-
I can tell you. I know the process. When I started dating my wife, she was 19. I was 23, about to turn 24. She did not drink wine. And I'm like already at this point a wine fan. I'm like, you have to drink wine if we're going to hang out.
If we're gonna hang out, we gotta drink wine.
Right?
Prerequisite.
So I got her like the most foo-foo-y, Moscato, sweet, like,
Yeah.
dessert
what I
wine
need.
possible.
Yeah.
She drank that,
Minimum
and she was
alcohol.
like, oh, I can drink
Yeah,
this.
minimum.
This is good. Now, I'm not even joking. 23 years later, she will not drink anything other than a red wine.
See?
She's like, oh, this is too sweet.
Exactly.
So maybe our
That's
pet
me.
project
That's
will be
me.
She turns her nose
We
up at
have
it.
to
And
train the millennials
Yeah.
to the
how do
culture
we
of wine.
correct
Wine is a culture.
Christy? We need to
Now,
correct it.
you know what?
we should
I've got
just
the
do a
solution.
wine
I
show.
think I just got
She got
doggone.
the
I got the
solution.
solution to the problem of the terrorism and everything.
Wine.
Woo!
Wine.
We've solved it. Yes.
We solved the
wine.
problem.
High five.
We gotta
Ooh,
teach
what
them.
made-
Casey,
Don't leave me hanging.
oh, I'm not gonna leave you hanging.
We gotta give. We gotta invite them
So-
to a wine tasting.
We're going to wrap up the show. We've solved all the world's problems.
Sure,
We did
okay.
We did
Sure,
it.
let's,
In an hour.
We did it.
It's been like
Hour and a
2
half.
Hour and a half.
It's been
Yeah.
like 2
But
hours.
it's your show.
Yes, it's our show, but it can go as long as we want.
But it's my hunger. Can we?
Yeah.
Can we?
I know my
I
stomach
love
touching
you,
my
mean
bag.
it.
I love
Yep.
it.
Hearts. Thanks for being
Hashtag
here.
stomach touching my bag.
If this traffic didn't
Hashtag is
suck,
always touching your back.
No, it's
if the
No
traffic
surprise.
didn't suck,
going
I
through my
did.
back right
No
now.
surprise.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, if the traffic didn't suck, I did have some crackers, some smoked Gouda, and some really nice spread to put on it to give them. But traffic sucked, so they
Traffic
didn't make it.
sucks.
Feed me
So
rabbit food.
So I can't like fry y'all up a steak or anything. I mean,
Why?
come on now.
you know the kitchen.
No,
We don't have a stove.
You
we
don't
don't
have
have
a
a stove. I got a
DoorDash?
microwave.
You don't
to
have
go
a
to the other
Grubhub?
Man, they're busting my chops. All right.
This is absolutely
We're
great.
good.
Let me just say this before you close. I know you're closing out. Joe, I want to thank you so much for inviting me to
Throwing
inviting
hearts
us
to
to the
everyone.
show. Yes. We got this. We got a million of these for you. This is absolutely freaking amazing. And the only reason we didn't stop at 5:45 instead of 6:45 is because it's so freaking awesome here.
It's a lot of fun. We have a
Can
good
I come
time.
back?
Yeah, heck yeah, you can come back anytime you
come
want.
back when I come back.
Friday. How's Friday work?
Y'all
for
come
you?
back next Friday. All right. I'm like, let's
I
book
live in
it.
West Chase.
I know.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. You're like across
I need a
town.
gas allowance
I'm
to
like
come over
Katie
here.
on
You're gonna have to leave like at 2 in the afternoon to make it
I'm
over
gonna
here.
pack a sack lunch and I'll be over next Friday.
I might need to Uber.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know, right?
If you want to be on the show, go to winenowine.com. Drop your name in the hat.
I'm the worst.
Right here on Facebook, Be sure to like the page,
Yes.
share it, recruit people. I genuinely believe with all my heart, this is stuff that America needs. America needs this conversation
Yes, we do.
desperately.
We're jacked up.
We
We're
are.
jacked.
We are.
America needs thick
We're gonna
thighs.
get better though.
And-
America needs more thicker
Ooh,
thighs
amen.
Don't
and more
get me
wood.
started.
And
I'm trying to keep my composure, ladies.
more wood in the wine.
Yes.
We are
We need
outnumbered.
woody wine.
I'm a big
We
fan.
are
That's
Oh
all
my
I'll
God,
say.
we made like a big Oreo. Look at
Yeah,
this.
we did, didn't we? Smash!
We smashed so
Hey,
together.
Teresa.
We got some Oreo on the outside. I'm just saying.
We're like a double stuff.
The double stuff.
We're like a double
No,
stuff.
we're like a Big Mac.
Oh.
Or
dang.
I
It's
don't know.
nasty with a
That's-
1,000
I know.
olive dressing. Ugh. Wrap up your show.
All right, so we're
honey.
wrapping up. We're wrapping up. This is
Yeah,
what
that went
America
well.
needs.
It's official.
Please like and share the show. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/no wine, sorry. And go to winenowine.com. Drop your name in the hat so I can get you on the show
If you dare.
if you dare. That's
Rex
right.
Sellers.
That's right. All the wine is from the great Direct Sellers Wine Club. We are members.
Shouts out to all
Shameless
of
plugs right there.
Help
Yes.
us, Lord.
Fantastic wine club that you need to be a part of. Anyway, love you guys for tuning in.
Sunday.
Sunday, shameless plug.
Sunday,
Shameless plug.
Sunday.
Sunday. Everybody that is in the Houston area or near Houston, within driving distance, that's everybody. You have to come out on Sunday for our wine tasting. We are having an exclusive, amazing, big, humongous, ginormous wine tasting at Unwine on Alameda, 44 something. Anyway, Unwine on Alameda, 5:00 p.m. and we're going to also play the game, left, right, center. So bring dollar bills, bring at least 10 $1 bills.
But Cindy, how much does it cost?
It is absolutely, say it with me,
Free!
free premium wines all
Hashtag free
night.
wine.
Hashtag free wine. Hashtag free wine. Premium wine. So,
That's right.
Joe, are you coming?
I am absolutely coming.
Yay! Steve, are you coming?
Yes.
You don't even know where it's at. I'm going. I'm in.
I'm gonna find it.
That's
You're
right.
find it.
Yes.
Ladies,
So,
start
y'all
knowing on
invited.
you.
I know you. Yes, I hate.
They have cookies.
Thank you
and
for tuning
crackers
in, guys.
Wow.
Thank y'all for
Sunday, what are you
tuning in.
doing
Thank
Sunday?
y'all for being a part of the show. Thank you for all the comments.
Memorial Day soiree.
Tremendously awesome comments on the show today. All you guys, was it Teresa? Was it Teresa?
Teresa, yes.
Teresa,
and
Yes.
Leah.
Howard, Leah, you guys need to be on the show.
Y'all gotta
Some
come
out.
great,
Hashtag.
Absolutely.
great comments. I loved it. Y'all need to be on the show. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to shut her down for the week. See y'all next Friday.